Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you at the ETAuto Digital Dealer and Aftermarket Conclave 2016, an initiative by ETAuto, supported by FADA and our aftermath solution partner, Lucas. Well, in today's highly competitive automotive market, the after-sales service carry huge importance to ensure customer retention and profitability. However, customers are steered away from OEM workshops to independent, unorganized service stations, especially during the post-warranty phase because of failure to address their needs. Well, the ETAuto Digital Dealer and Aftermarket Conclave 2016 explores this very aspect. The after-sales service expectations of today's connected customer and how the OEMs and dealers can embrace new-age technologies to provide an enriching after-sales experience. How can dealers leverage the changing customer expectations where 80% of the customers come to them after having researched on the net? How best can the auto part makers use the digital technology to expand their business? Well, these are some of the questions that the forum will try to answer today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this great event, this great initiative by the ETAuto. And first and foremost, may I please call on stage the editor for ETAuto, Mr. Nabil A. Khan, to kindly come here and address the audience. Let's please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really delighted to have such a wonderful audience, and the venue is really packed. It shows the importance of digital technology and aftermarket. We are lucky to have such a confluence of two most dynamic industries, which is digital and automotive. We have people from Google. We have Mr. Mahesh Murthy, who is going to speak on digital technology and confluence of aftermarket with this. I'm sure we are living in a time when everything is uncertain almost. Only certain thing is change and challenges. We are already struggling with demonetization. And I dare say that there are a lot of such sudden events that is going to come in future that change the way we do business. When it comes to automobile industry, which is on the brink of generation leap, has been massively influenced by digital technology. All stakeholders in the ecosystem must be prepared to meet the changing dynamics. For automotive aftermarket, digital technology becomes very pertinent. And the first step to start with is by digitizing all the data information and process when we do. Suppose we have a service advisor who starts work at a car and he enters history of the car. If we keep that in digital format and we have all the history of the car, we can predict and start new business relation with the consumer. Similarly, we can take a lot of other initiatives in digital technology that can help enhance our business and increase our profitability. You can also use data intelligence to find efficiency and weak links in the workforce, identify them, and take reformative actions. The digital technology can help greatly to reach to customers everywhere to anywhere. This can also help in improving customer satisfaction. I'm sure there are much more opportunities in rightfully marrying automotive aftermarket with digital technology. Today, our esteemed experts from both the industries will entail beginning of a new dawn in this space. I'm sure you are excited to hear them sooner than later. Thank you so much for hearing. Wish you a lovely day ahead. Vani, over to you.
Thank you, Nabil. We are lucky to have you as our editor. Such events wouldn't have been possible without your presence. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a round of presentations as well as panel discussions throughout the day today on different topics. And first and foremost, may I please call on stage Mr. RS Kalsi, Executive Director, Maruti Suzuki India, to kindly come here and discuss the relevance of traditional dealership in digital age. Sir, can we please have you on stage? A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Well, good morning, friends. In fact, when I was preparing for this presentation, I had made a set of questions to set the context. And in fact, I wanted to ask all the audience, how many of you use smartphones? How many of you have a 4G connection? How many of you bank online? And how many of you transact online? Then suddenly I realized that perhaps my question is going to be the wrong set of audience. Maybe in today's context, if I ask a gathering of panwalas, doodhwalas, and chaiwalas these questions and ask them to raise their hands, maybe 50% of them are going to raise their hands. So that's how the context has changed so fast. And today, friends, we are on the verge of a digital avalanche. And to add to it, our country, it has a large millennial population, young, tech-savvy, with rising earnings and disposable income. Now, this audience is early adopter of technology, and also they are high in terms of media consumption. But at the same time, if we talk about the vast population of our country staying in tier 2, tier 3 cities, now by choice or compulsion, they are going to be touched somewhere or the other in a big way by digital technology. And the technology has a potential to invade these people in a big way in the coming years. By 2017, if we have a look at these figures, India will have more than 350 million smartphones. And thanks to demonetization, maybe this pace might get accelerated. There are over 2.2 million Android apps and similar numbers of iOS phones. An average user is spending over 167 minutes each day on his smartphone. The inexpensive smartphones, coupled with 3G and 4G broadband infrastructures, are democratizing online access. There's still a huge potential untapped, and the growth will be mainly fueled by availability of low-cost smartphones, low rates of data plans, and mobile development of smart cities across length and breadth of the country. And all these three things have already started happening if we look around. Now, if we talk about e-commerce growth, the digital growth is not only allowing accessibility to the information, but it has added to online transaction in a big way. To quote some recent figures of online transactions, 80 million users will be on e-commerce by end of the year with rupees 15,000 as an average spent. But I think this figure is going to change exponentially considering the current environment and the post-demonetization effects where focus is coming more and more on cashless economy. Apart from this, one figure I would like to share with you that recent festivity week during Diwali time, India could fetch 30 billion rupees of business for Flipkart alone in a single week. This goes on to show the economy of transactions happening online, and India is estimated to reach e-commerce sales of $35 billion in 2016, which is an increase of 75.8% over 2015. So that's the pace at which the market is moving up. To fuel this kind of growth, if we see, and assured of sustainability, we are having various catalysts in the ecosystem. While there are many, but I would like to touch upon the most important and the potent one, that is Government of India initiative, Digital India. Now, Digital India is all about transforming nation by creating opportunities, by harnessing digital technologies, help the country to connect, interact, and transact, create a platform for dialogue with citizens where we analyze the details as we find a very structural approach by Government of India to bring Digital India awakening from skill enhancement to developmental funding. This is also facilitating the startup culture in India. Now, from the canvas of digital to the catalytic effects of government initiatives, it is important to evaluate the impact, be it the banking sector, e-commerce sector, or the education sector. We have changed the way we bank, we have changed the way we shop, we have changed the way we educate our kids, and I don't see any aspect of our life remaining untouched by digital. Now, from overall digital expansion to catalysts fueling its growth and impact on some traditional industries, let me now delve on main area of focus. Let me plot this on the automotive industry. Now, a traditional customer journey moves like this, from awareness to exploration to sales and after-sales service. Now, if we plot it on the traditional approach, the touch points are what we all have grown with, starting with the television and intermittently intercepted with the dealer showrooms. It is going through metamorphosis. Indian consumers are noted for high degree of value orientation. Due to this, Indians are labeled as one of the most aware, perceptive consumers in the world. Now, the traditional customer touchpoints are enumerated in this slide. You can see the traditional robust approach. The diffusion of channels with a stage in purchase cycle is not there. One large reason as to why the automotive category is seeing such a high spike in digital is the transformation of the consumer purchase path, which increasingly begins online at the national or local level, yet still converts almost exclusively in the brick and mortar dealerships. Consumers don't buy cars online, but they conduct loads of research and price evaluation across digital platforms. So combine it with a physical plus digital experience and learning. This is a phenomena I would like to call feed digital shoppers phenomena. Now, advances in technology and communication combined with the explosive growth in data and information have given rise to more empowered global consumer. A customer visiting the physical store knows much about a car well before he steps in. Recent technological growth highlight the need for organizations to understand how consumers view the world and the most important attributes for their purchasing decisions. Users are now manifested with information at every step of their purchase cycle. And if we see this, out of nearly 25 touch points, 18 are digital touch points for the customer. Now, the new customer journey is not structured vis-a-vis customer purchase cycle. A customer uses a lot of elements across the spectrum of physical and digital world to satiate specific needs. Hence, the channels have enriched and the structure diffused, increasing the already existing complications. Now, if we talk about the benefits of this, the channels for customers are changing with the advent of newer mediums and digitization. The way we communicate and retail is also fast changing. I feel there shouldn't be a debate between traditional and digital. This is a false choice. Instead, the conversation needs to shift to focus on how the two channels work together, as well as how we can leverage the best of both channels they have to offer. We must incorporate both traditional and digital elements into a cohesive package that elicits a desired behavior from the consumer. It is important not to look at traditional versus digital as an either-or proposition, and instead see it as an opportunity to engage consumers holistically. So it is about bringing in harmony through collaboration and coexistence to evolve an approach that delights the customer. The core of this approach has to be totally customer-centric. Experiences also lead to customer expectations. The digital has opened floodgates of information and involvement. One decision of buying a car can be now discussed real time with more than 1,000 people at a time. Now, this has resulted in a shift in retail landscape. So we can see consumer span of influence has now increased in a big way. A person earlier exposed to only television, print, and word of mouth is now exposed to innumerable data points. Now, these are social media, third-party aggregators, OEM websites, OEM marketing initiatives, online reviews, and much more. Now, this in turn has led to increased depth of awareness. A user these days is more demanding since he has increased expectations. Convenience, flexibility, and personalization are a given. More sophisticated emerging middle class expect more services and more diverse approach. Hence, it is for us to deliver better and seamless and use the digital as a catalyst for user convenience and user conversion. Now, traditional dealerships setups find it difficult to cater to the new age customer. As the customers have become more global, more knowledgeable, and more informed in their expectations, have also not just increased but changed as well. The use is now seeking flexible, tailor-made, end-to-end buying solutions from the customer point of view from every possible retailer. So these all needs have to be enabled and analyzed through technological interface to ensure we are prepared to deliver to this new needs. And the need of the hour is to upgrade ourselves to deliver higher standards of customer delight on an ongoing basis. Now, challenging the changing times, the best solution for us is to change with time. As a customer-centric organization, the challenge is to now mix traditional models and new models to cater to customer needs and demand. Now, we at Maruti Suzuki could anticipate and understand these needs of the customer. Now, as a result of this, we conceptualized our Nexa channel 2 years ago, and our idea was to cater to the requirements of this dynamic, new age customer who is highly technology savvy. He believes in having a digital experience. He wants to have approach through a single window where we have put relationship managers rather than asking the customer moving from window to window for his various automobile-related needs right inside a showroom where he'll talk to an insurance person first, then the finance person, then he'll talk to the salesperson, then he'll talk to the accessories person. So we have eliminated everything through these highly digital showrooms where we have the iPads with the salespeople, and these iPads are interacting with big Apple screens. The customer can be taken around in a virtual tour. He can see what all models are available and what colors these are available. At the click of a button, he can see what is under the bonnet, what is under the body, and how he can accessorize his models. He can change the seat cover colors at the click of a button and see how his vehicle will look like from inside. So all those facilities we have been able to provide through Nexa showrooms. Not only this, as I mentioned that today's digital age customer does a lot of research when he intends to buy a car. So he comes as a highly knowledge-empowered entity to the dealer showroom. And not only he has seen our products if he is trying to buy our vehicle, he has also compared it with the competition products. So how do we train the staff to take care of this? Naturally, it is physically impossible. There are more than, say, 140 models today in the market. So I don't expect my showroom salesperson to know about the features and performance characteristics of all these 140 models. But we have to enable him through the digital technology. So we have provided them iPads, we have provided them tablets, where at the click of a button they can compare the competition products as well as they can talk about the specifications of our products for the customer in order to convince him about buying our cars. Another thing which is happening is that the empowerment is shifting, more from, say, manufacturer to dealer to now customer. Now, customer has to be empowered. He has to be given the freedom of personalization of his vehicle. So recently we have come out with a digital initiative, which is iCreate, wherein we have provided a choice of 500 plus 90 accessories to the customer, and he can go to our website sitting in the comfort of his car or in the comfort of his home. He can design his own car. He can design his own Brezza. He can fit different kind of accessories, see it for himself how it looks like, show it to his family how it looks like. He can lock that screen and then save it, and then he can come to the showroom, where showroom person would facilitate him further in terms of, say, color combinations and other things. And customer can personalize his car. He can himself design his car, and then the car can be made as per his choice as far as accessorization from a vast ocean of 590 different accessories are concerned. So imagine the kind of delight factor and the empowerment the customer gets through this kind of an initiative. Now, another thing is, we have been able to set up a DMS system which we started 10 years ago, wherein dealer CEO sitting in his showroom itself, he can see through what kind of inventories he's having, what is happening at the workshop, how many vehicles were received today, which stage, which vehicle is there, whether it is in the body shop or it is in the service shop. Also, he can see the inventories of the vehicles, colors, variants, everything. And we centrally can monitor it, that which dealer is having a high stock up of inventories, where he needs the help in terms of inventory reduction, including his spare parts management. Not only this, what we have done is, we have created virtual warehouses, wherein a dealer can see the products with his other co-dealers also, in case he does not have that product available with him. And this has caused a sort of revolution in terms of our service capabilities for the customers, because today we are dealing with 25 different models and hundreds of variants and more than 57,000 parts, and we are servicing close to 2 million cars a month across the network. So imagine the kind of complexity that we have to handle, and we have to ensure that no vehicle goes off-road for want of these parts. So think of a situation where a dealer, he does not have a part which is required for a particular vehicle. He can, at the click of a button, see whether this part is available with his fellow dealers within the city. So through that virtual warehouse, he can see through it, and he can place an order with his fellow dealer, and within an hour the part can reach him and customer's vehicle can be made ready for the service. Similarly, for the service experience, we are now working towards digitizing our service shops as well, wherein in advance we have all the information from the customer when he's coming to our showroom, and at the boom barrier stage itself, the it is sensed that this particular vehicle has come to the service shop. Immediately the parking bay is allotted, and his job card is opened, and all through the day, at any point of time, dealer can see on his mobile app what is the condition of his vehicle, where exactly it is, whether it has been fully repaired or not, when it is due for delivery, and accordingly, he can see it himself, plus we are sending the information to him digitally that his vehicle is ready. So we are again working towards creating a great experience for the customers on the service front as well. Now friends, it's time to be future ready, and there is no option. You would agree it is a long run process, and choice is very clear. We have to be driven by a vision where action is required at a very fast pace. And here, coming forward with the OEM's roles, as an OEM, we have to be torchbearer for the changes in the system and promote holistic customer-centric initiatives, which some of them I mentioned that how we are providing it to the customer. We have to create and accommodate landscape as we expect our customers to be more enlightened and more knowledgeable as they are walking into our showrooms. Most consumers want access to a mix of online and personal contact throughout the product life cycle. As an organization, we need to invest in innovations to enhance the shopping experience, customer expectations as they are changing, and the role has to be that of a collaborator and co-creator with our channel partners across the value chain. And we have to create and build value at every step of marketing, sales, and service. And this value has to be for the customer as well as for our channel partners. And as an OEM, we need to services and solutions, we have to strengthen it at our dealerships in order to strengthen them and face the challenges of the new era. A bank partner, we have to involve for EMI solutions, faster clearance of the loans, Now today it is happening within 2 hours with some of our banking partners at the showroom itself. And digital tools partners, they have to collaborate with us. Apart from this, we have to adopt and imply new technologies, upgraded technologies in the system. As technology forms the underlay of the build-up, flexibility, extendability, and sustainability of technology framework is very important. With the advent of digital comes in a big data. The OEMs have to capitalize on data and its insights that data provides, create analytics, and in fact share it with your dealer partners to ramp up their knowledge, to ramp up their understanding of the customer and come close to the consumer, anticipate his needs, and capture higher value out of the customer touch points. We have to be playing the role of a promoter. We have to unlearn and relearn the new things, which is, the first part is most difficult because traditionally the dealerships are used to doing the business in a certain fashion, the traditional fashion, and how to make the staff understand and embrace new technology would be a big challenge. And OEMs have to invest on delivering the expected consumer experience with their channel partners. Investment needs to be directed on technology, tools, and staff. Now, OEMs need to reorganize the existing structures to create new structures tuned to evolved customer needs. Also, there has to be a strong implementation mindset. A fast-growing channel needs to be structured. We as OEMs need to provide omni-channel presence and implement omni-marketing initiatives. Customer-facing activities, including informational websites, PR, in-store sale of products, services, and loyalty programs should be seamless and consistent. Now, maintaining an active dialogue with the customers at all steps of consumer buying cycle. Customers no longer recognize channels during their shopping journey, so we must build and execute strategy in a much more integrated way. In fact, just to make you aware that a customer spending 5 lakh rupees on the purchase of a car spends another 5 lakhs during the lifespan of the car, and channel has to be ready to capture that value and provide a win-win solution for the entire life cycle of the vehicle. Further, adherence to processes and system across the organization and customer touchpoints is very important. Ensuring technology processes, measurement matrix needs to be standardized. Now, my partners usually ask me this question, is digital the only way forward? Now, friends, I think the question has lost relevance in today's time. There are unfounded queries, I would like to say, and I believe digital is a positive disruption and here to stay in synchrony with the physical setup. The relationship will be symbiotic. Partners need to embrace to the technical world, to the digital world, and the initiation of any change starts with the alignment of the intent. That is the starting point, and rest all follows. Progressive dealers will find a way to adjust and align their business with changing customer and utilize the opportunity, while others who are right now not on board will have to follow the suit for their survival. Now, staff has to be aligned and trained in a big way. The need is to retrain the staff, understand certain tactics which were effective yesterday when the transparency was lacking. These will not be effective today as customer comes as a very knowledgeable entity to the showroom. Also, the procedures have to be changed as the dynamics of retail experience is evolving, and investing in digital technology to support traditional setup is becoming an important strategic execution for the partners. We have to make changes in the infrastructure to keep pace with its changing market and consumer dynamics. Also, we have to learn to be adaptive, use detailed customer insight to test, learn, and act quickly, accelerating the process with prototypes. Now, focus on some key levers and build momentum throughout the organization is very important to manage it. Now, to manage customer satisfactions or exceed customer satisfactions, we have to start to build a culture that puts customer at the center and aligns every objective, target, reward recognition with the customer delight. Now, If we talk about digitalization's new approach, it's time to focus on redefining customer relationships, transforming business models to embrace data and digital, and introducing an innovative culture in support of strategic decision making. Now, we must generate customer engagement across the life cycle of the vehicle and also the life cycle of the customer as he comes to buy his next car. This is vital to building a loyalty, and this can be done by serving the customer digitally or in store and creating delight at every moment of truth that we have with the customer. Embedding innovation throughout the purchase cycle will involve tapping into discovery centers, which will help us gain insights about the customer. OEMs and dealer partners will have to work collaboratively and build stronger relationships. The overall customer experience is influenced by customers' direct and indirect interactions with an organization, both physical and digital touchpoints, and thus a consistent and delightful experience on an ongoing basis. So friends, I would like to conclude by stating that it is the time for the OEMs and dealers to harness technology to take customer delight to the next level. Thank you.
I now open the session to the audience. Can we have a mic in the audience, please? Anybody who wants to ask a question can please raise their hand.
Good morning. That was an excellent presentation, Mr. Kalsi. My name is Pankaj Arora from J2 Dynamics. We provide data to most of the OEMs worldwide, car specification. I've got two questions for you. Number one is, generally automotive industry generally lags behind the consumer technologies. And so the question is, do you see the product development life cycles shortening in the coming future with the advent of digital technologies? And number two would be, you talked about iCreate, where customers can go into the website and work out various options. So do you see Maruti bringing out more options in their vehicles in the near future?
Well, first question is about the shortening of life cycles of the vehicles.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, I fully agree with you. It is happening, and in fact, the rate of obsolescence in all walks of life is increasing, and automotive industry is no exception. And now the normal, say, fatigue on the model comes much faster than it used to be earlier. I think 30 years ago, we were living with the models which were continuing in the market for 30, 40 years. Then came a time where a model could sustain for about 10 to 15 years. Now, today the situation is that the model, at best, lasts for 3 years. After that, we have to introduce either, say, facelift, or we have to come out with, full model change. So certainly, this is a challenge, and product life cycles are reducing in a big way, and customer expectations, his demands, his needs are, different today what they used to be earlier. Now, coming to iCreate, certainly we have made an initiative through Vitara Brezza, one of our models, and we will soon be coming with a similar kind of propositions for the customer on our other models.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Kalsi. It was a very good presentation, and I got some very good inputs on what is happening internally in Maruti, right? So there are several tools which you talked about. So, but however, this particular tool is not being used extensively, and it's being used only in the closed circuit of the distributorship or the within the dealer network, right? Had this been provided, so as we are moving to the digital age, right, it is very important for us to really move on and provide the APIs to the startups who are into these areas, so that they can leverage the current setup which is already there and provide and extend this to the customers. What is that we are doing?
Sorry, which tool you are referring to?
I'm sorry. So I'm referring to all the tools like DMS, virtual warehouse and all, right? So currently I run a company in automotive spares, online spares, right? I see a lot of issues in terms of coordinating with several distributors because they still run in a very traditional setup and not allowing the digital things to happen, So I've been talking to a lot of people. It took almost 6 months for me to really break through at least. So the moment I started to give some kind of volumes, right? So the margins got reduced, right? So these are some of the challenges which I see, that people still see that once you go online, right, they still feel, they don't understand online, number one. Okay, they really not willing to embrace the change, right? And number three is they are a bit threatened about the online community, right? So they feel that, okay, these guys come with some kind of venture funding and give some kind of discounts so that we will lose our business, right? So how is that Maruti is taking this forward and educating the bottom of the pyramid people who really are into a traditional setup and they really are not completely inclined towards this, you know?
Whenever a new thing is to be introduced, it goes through a certain, cycle. First is, the awareness part of it, then evolution part of it, then, people, go in for buy-in. Now, perhaps what you are referring to is the biggest challenge lies at the, buy-in stage, where it is important that, when we go with a proposition, it should be a win-win proposition. Say, it's not just margin-based. Margin is, of course, one of the important things. Second important thing is that how it reduces the service cycle, what kind of delight it creates for the customer, what kind of, ongoing, loyalty one can expect from the customer if one goes in for this kind of digital experience. So I give you this example, in fact, which I referred to in our, presentation as well, the concept of a virtual warehouse. Now, we have 57,000 parts. Now, it is practically impossible for any dealer or distributor to store those many parts multiplied by a certain minimum number of inventory of each part. I think they will need a warehouse itself, for storing parts of the size of, maybe 2 acres. Now, point here is that if we are able to show that value, so first buy-in has to be from the channel. And if we are able to show that value, that how they can reduce their inventories. Now, again, our inventories at the channel used to be 1 month, 1.5 months earlier. Now, in some of the fast-moving parts, we are operating on as low as 2 to 3 days of inventories. We have automatic parts ordering system. Okay, so moment the certain inventory level of a particular part goes down below the threshold limit, automatically the order is placed with us from the dealership without any intervention, human intervention. So initially there was a lot of resistance, but subsequently, moment the benefits were seen, people now cannot think of living without a automatic part sorting system. Similarly, on say virtual warehouse, where a dealer could get a part from a fellow dealer, initially they were saying, why should I give that part to him because I am paying the inventory carrying costs, I am having that inventory, I plant better than the other fellow, he doesn't have the part. But subsequently, when they realize that these are the slow-moving parts where the requirement of the part comes once in a while, but think of the cost of holding that vehicle for 3 days or 4 days at the dealership, vis-a-vis paying a slight premium to the fellow dealer and buying a part from him and fixing the customer's vehicle, the customer delight part of it, and your service shop efficiency. So all these benefits, first of all, have to be discussed. Some of them may be visible, on the surface of it. Some of the benefits may be deep-rooted. But end of the day, every benefit should be aimed at, customer delight. And there should be a win-win proposition in the entire value chain. I think we are passing through an evolutionary phase. I agree with you. Certain challenges would be there. But end of the day, there has to be a win-win solution to, whatever challenges we face.
Right. So the only thing is how are you really bringing that value? And there are several startups who want to explore this and make it much more organized and co-create value with the larger companies like you, right? Mm-hmm. So what is that from the company standpoint? So what are the kind of initiatives you are really taking to make sure that the technology which you build, right, pass on to the customer so that they get benefited, not just, it working in a very closed loop and, they do not have access. And this guy calls multiple times and, the kind of, you need to have time, spend a lot of time and there will be a lot of fitment issues because the communication is over the phone channel. Okay, this guy sent out a wrong part. And that, how can we really, that segment I'm trying to fix those things, but I need some help on that aspect.
No, I think we can discuss it offline, and sure. I feel we are past that phase where this kind of things used to happen. Today, even shoes are purchased online by the people. Shoes is something which one would like to wear, walk at least 100 steps in the showroom, and then person buys the shoes. Today, even shoes are purchased online, and kind of assurance that comes. I'm reminded of happiness at Jaipos. Jaipos was one of the first initiatives on shoe delivery, which was started by a chap called Tony Huish. And he has written a book also, Delivering Happiness at Jaipos. So the kind of assurances you have to provide to the customer, he said that if the shoe doesn't fit or you don't like the shoe or the color, within 24 hours I give you the replacement guarantee and all the transportation costs will be borne by me. So certain things of that kind have to be introduced in order to give that assurance and confidence to the customer that in case there is a problem, yes, I am there and I stand by you and I am going to, this thing, replace it for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Kalsi.
Good morning.
My name is Madhukar Manpre. I'm the founder of My New Car, which is a one-stop online showroom. I have a question with regard to the personalization. You said, okay, that's just the start. We want to move away from the pricing and we want to ensure that the customers can personalize the car. So as of now, you enable the personalization at the dealer level. Are we looking in future that the personalization happens at the manufacturing, like what happens in Europe? So you first build the car and then the car is manufactured.
Well, that's a very advanced stage of personalization where people, pick up their powertrains, they pick up the, various variants of the vehicle, whether it will be auto transmission or it will be manual, and what kind of, engine capacity they need and things like that. But I think in the near future, we do not have any intent to, go into that. However, whatever dealer-centric personalization can be done, we are right now working in that direction only. Okay, thank you, friends. It's been nice interacting with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for joining us here today.